Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely pumped about today's topic because we're looking at a massive shift in how we actually build software. We're talking about vibe coding. The ability to just describe what you want, how it should feel, and boom, having an AI instantly build it for you, complete with actual aesthetic design choices. Today, we're comparing three heavyweights in the AI coding landscape based on some really fascinating recent testing. We've got the brand new open source Kimi 2.6, the powerhouse DeepSeek V4, and of course the gold standard Claude Opus 4.7. Okay, let's dive into this.
Just think about that quote for a second. 18 minutes. A creator recently sat down and used AI to build a fully functional Flutter mobile app in the time it takes to, drink a cup of coffee. And we're not talking about some simple, clunky wireframe here. We are talking about a working app with a complete database, a fully responsive user interface, and fluid animations. It was this AI startup idea generator. You just punch in your skills, and it spits out startup ideas. And honestly, the wildest part, it wasn't just functional, it was actually genuinely well designed. This is the raw power of the new AI coding models we are unpacking today. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI coding landscape, move into design meets raw engineering, break down the costs, figure out the right tool for you, and finally, go over how to install the Kimi CLI.
Section 1. The AI coding landscape. Let's look at where things actually stand right now. To really get a grip on the landscape, we have to look at what's currently possible. That 18-minute startup idea generator we just talked about, it was built entirely inside VS Code. The creator literally just sat back and watched as the AI generated the names, the taglines, the pitches, and wired up a whole working database right behind the scenes. It whipped up a fully responsive UI that looked amazing on both desktop and mobile layouts. In the engine running this whole show, the newly released, totally open source model from Moonshot AI, Kimi K2.6. The fact that an open source model can now pull off end-to-end software dev with this level of polish, it kind of changes everything.
Section 2, design meets raw engineering. And this brilliantly illustrates the aesthetic decisions behind the heavy hitters.
When we compare the big players, the divide is actually super clear. On one hand, DeepSeek V4 is an absolute monster for raw backend engineering. It currently holds the highest score on Live Codebench, which is a major test for coding AI. If you need a massive 1 million token context window, or if you're doing heavy, pure backend coding, it writes incredibly solid, clean code. But here is the catch. Its UI is pretty generic. Kimi K2.6, on the other hand, is built with award-winning front-end design taste to make sure your app actually looks unique. It isn't just spitting out code to make a button click, it's actively making aesthetic decisions so the app feels professional right out of the gate.
This is absolutely crucial, so I really want to emphasize it. Most AI coding tools, they'll just hand you a plain white card with a standard blue button. They completely rely on you to go in, tweak the CSS, or fight with styling prompts just to make it look half-decent. Kimi K2.6 actively avoids that generic output. It generates careful, considered design choices right out of the box. Think of it less like an automated programmer, and honestly more like having a built-in UI designer sitting right next to your automated programmer. If you're a developer who hates spending hours tweaking layouts in Figma, this is a literal game changer.
Section 3, breaking down the costs, because, well, perfection usually comes with a price tag. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how staggering the price difference is. When we look at the cost per million output tokens, Claude Opus 4.7, which, look, is undeniably the enterprise gold standard for complex reasoning and reliability, comes in at $25. Kimi 2.6, it comes in at just $3.49. That means Kimi is roughly 95% cheaper on output and about 94% cheaper on input compared to Claude. When you're running AI agents that constantly read and write thousands of lines of code to test and build an app over and over, those token counts skyrocket incredibly fast.
Let's actually ground those token costs into a real-world number to put that into perspective. If you are a heavy builder going through around 1 million tokens a day, choosing Kimi K2.6 over Claude Opus 4.7 is going to save you roughly $135 a month. Over the course of a year, that adds up to $1,620 in pure savings. Like the creator pointed out, that is literally enough money to go out and buy a brand new Mac Mini every single year just by switching your AI coding model. The cost efficiency we're seeing with open source models right now is just wild.
Section 4, the right tool for you. Let's match the tool to your specific task. So the crucial point is this. We need to map the right model to the right user. If you are a non-technical founder, a creator, or just a builder who needs to ship a product that looks totally professional right away without fighting design software, Kimi Q2.6 is for sure your best bet. Its strength in UI and aesthetics is totally unmatched. Now, if you are a hardcore software engineer doing pure backend heavy engineering work and you need to cram an entire code base into a 1 million token context window, you definitely want DSeek v4. And finally, if you're an enterprise engineer where making a mistake is incredibly expensive and you need absolute maximum reliability for complex reasoning, well, you reach for the premium option, Claude Opus 4.7. You're going to pay 10 to 15 times more, but for enterprise-grade infrastructure, that reliability is worth it.
Section 5. How to install Kimi CLI. Let's get you set up and building in minutes. The installation is shockingly straightforward, and honestly, the best part is that it's completely free to start. Step 1. You just hop over to Kami's website and copy this single installation command for your specific operating system, whether that's Windows, Mac, or Linux. Step 2. Open up your terminal or PowerShell, paste that command right in, and hit enter. The system automatically downloads and installs the whole shebang. Step 3. Once it's installed, you just open the Kimi CLI and it'll prompt you to log in. That is literally it. You are now fully set up with a powerful open-source AI coding agent right on your machine.
Once you're logged in, you just create an empty folder for your project, navigate to it in your command line, and give it a prompt. This right here is the exact prompt that built the app we showcased today. Build a real usable Flutter mobile application, an AI startup idea generator where you can put your skills or interest and it spits out 3 startup ideas with names, taglines, and a pitch. Once you press enter, you just sit back. The AI takes over. It creates its own to-do list, runs the commands to initialize a Flutter project, writes the logic, builds those beautiful UI components, and even tests the app to make sure it compiles cleanly into a usable file. It does all the heavy lifting for you.
The barrier to creating stunning, fully functional software has absolutely collapsed. You no longer need to be a master of front-end frameworks or some Figma design wizard to bring your ideas to life. With tools like Kimi K2.6, you really just need a clear vision, a solid prompt, and, well, a few minutes to spare. So, knowing that you have this insane level of design and engineering power right at your fingertips, what will your first 18-minute app be? Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer today. Now get out there, start experimenting, and I'll catch you on the next one.